This week on Battle of the Ports, a game I can't believe I haven't covered yet. This is Sega AM2's fantastic Fighting Vipers. Produced by Yu Suzuki and first released in 1995 onto the arcade scene, this was a one-on-one fighter taking cage fighting to a whole new level. Fighting Vipers features a similar style of gameplay to Sega AM2's more renowned Virtua Fighter series, specifically Virtua Fighter 2, using simply guard, punch and kick attack buttons with a focus on combo moves. Each of the 9 characters featured in the game wears armour that can be broken off by opponents, leaving them more vulnerable to taking damage. A human-shaped meter in the top corners of the screen monitors the damage to the armour. Walls and cages surrounding each area can be used to throw your opponent into and to attack off. Plus, if you're good enough, you can even send an opponent crashing through them. As you've probably noticed, this Japanese version has Pepsi plastered all over it. This sponsorship was removed from the Western version on all formats. Also, for some reason, Honey's name was changed to Candy in the West.
Time over. Round 2.
The very first port of Fighting Vipers was to the Sega Saturn, and to this day it's the best port for content and secret characters. This port was handled by AM2 directly, with Yu Suzuki being the producer. Fighting Vipers on the Saturn is a benchmark in Saturn development. By rendering the 3D cages surrounding the playfield, it was one of the first games of its type to technically render 3D backgrounds. While the main rendering engine for this game is based upon the earlier released Virtua Fighter 2, Fighting Vipers runs in a lower resolution, but does contain a high resolution HUD. The game also makes use of lighting and good shading, that even the arcade version or any other ports don't feature. This helped disguise the lower level of polygons used in the smaller character models. Saturn Fighting Vipers offers many modes of play, including arcade, versus, playback and training modes. Players can save their matches and play them again in playback mode, as well as watch some cool preloaded playback fights, which is a fantastic extra. Talking about extras, Saturn Fighting Vipers has the best hidden character ever. No, I'm not talking about Kuma-chan, although that unanimated bear is funny. I'm talking about Pepsi Man. Or at least he's in the Japanese version. Pepsi Man is great to control with his fast punches and kicks. He even has some wrestling moves. Sadly, not all is great with Saturn Fighting Vipers. It does slow down a little at times, but all that extra content and hidden menus, costumes and some suggestive images of Honey, well, not for US players. There's a lot in this game for the one-on-one fighter. Sega AM2 original arcade development team ported Fighting Vipers to the PlayStation 2 as part of the Sega 2500 series, if the credits are to be believed. This is volume 19. Being on the PlayStation 2, the game is interlaced, which is a major bummer, but still, we get a very nice port here. Sure, it doesn't look as sharp as the arcade game, but it sure plays like it. We even get a choice of the arcade's 57.5 frames per second or a 60 frames per second option. Yes, the arcade game did run at that funky frame rate. Game modes include the standard arcade mode, versus mode, ranking mode and a random mode. Now this, I thought, would be all the stages appearing in random order, since Fighting Vipers always follows the same battle order. Sadly, what this mode does is stick random fighters in the same stage order. So you may not get to see Jane's stage, but you may end up fighting her on Grace's stage, for example.
Round 2, go!
The final version we are taking a look at is the Xbox 360 release, also on the PS3. This version is most likely arcade emulation at some level, however there are a few nice additions in here such as online versus and leaderboards. Of course the standard arcade mode and offline versus mode are in here as well. The game is backwards compatible with the Xbox Series consoles, so it is possible to play this in 4K on the Series X, but I'm showing you the 360 version running in 720p here, as this is how it should have been played back in the day. I can't fault the Xbox 360 release, it's solid like all of Sega's Model 2 arcade ports to the system. Check it out if you have a Series S or X, or even the original 360.
Round 2, go!
And let's take a look at all those versions of Fighting Vipers running side by side.